Welcome to the Collective Talk Podcast.
So, here we go.
Welcome to the Collective Talk Podcast, where we talk creativity, business, and success. I'm here with Chrishana Fancy, makeup artist, esthetician, just an overall mogul. What's up, Chrishana? How you doing?
Oh, you gotta stop gassing me up like that. Hey, I'm just glad to be here.
So me and Chrishana, actually, we known each other for many years. We actually pretty much grew up together. We went to school since like elementary school and high school. We graduated together, and she's been a very dope person that I've gotten to know throughout my life. And we haven't spoke in a long time, but I'm happy we're here. Honestly, I'm happy we're here.
For real. Like, I have not seen you. Like, I'm glad that you're doing great. And I'm happy that you're doing this. I think this is so cool that you're doing something like this. Because, when we were in high school, all we did was crack jokes.
Right. I don't even think we got work done. We was just bombing on each other, just doing stuff.
We never got work done. But I'm just really glad that you're being really creative and doing stuff like this. I think this is stuff that people need.
Word. Yeah, I agree. Well, before we get started, I see that you are engaged now.
Oh, yes, I am.
Let me see the rock. Let's go. Do you guys have a date set, or what's next?
Not yet, but soon we're gonna try to start planning something. Probably within like the next year, because weddings are real expensive.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah,
facts.
So we're still like putting all the plans together and really figuring out who we want to invite and who we can invite, because with like the restrictions and stuff. Right. So we're trying to what I'm saying?
No, I get it. But congratulations. So that's dope. That's dope.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. He's everything. So
that's awesome. Well, yeah, so let's get started. I mean, I introduced Chrishana. She is a makeup artist out of, I believe you're still in Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's out of Jersey. Chrishana, what first got you into your career field?
When I was still in high school, and I got into makeup because of my aunts and my cousins. They always wore makeup, and literally I'd be with them all the time, like them, my mom and everyone. So like they would wear lipstick, liner, mascara, and I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. I want to put powder on, all this stuff. So when I was in high school and I got older and was allowed to wear makeup, I was actually wearing makeup in the 8th grade. And from there, I was doing like some of the seniors for their prom. So I was either a freshman or a sophomore. And excuse me, one of the girls let me practice makeup on them. And from there, it was just like straight shot. So I think like my first real client that I did was one of my little cousins I think she had like a homecoming or something. And I took pictures of her, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, you do makeup? And I was like, hell yeah, I do makeup now.
Yeah.
And after high school, I went to Cosmo school in 2014. So a year after we graduated, I did Cosmo. And it's funny because I didn't even want to go because I didn't want to learn how to do hair or anything like that. But my mom was like, just do it. They'll teach you everything. And I did that, graduated, and I wasn't satisfied because I wanted to go to a makeup school in New York City. So from 2013 all the way up to 2015, I was going back and forth with my parents, trying to convince them to let me go to this school, even though I went to the other school. And they finally was like, all right, girl, just do it. I was like, I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I got in there, and it's one of the top makeup schools you can go to. They're in New York, they're in London, and they're in Cali. That's it. They're nowhere else.
What's the name of the school?
And Makeup Designery.
Okay.
So it's right near the stock exchange in the city where the bowl is. So I had to get up. I was still living in Browns Mills at the time. And I had to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning, leave the house by 5 o'clock to get to the train. I think like 6:30.
What the train where in
And
Trenton?
yes.
All
Well,
right.
I took Hamilton
So
because I
what?
was scared of
So what
Hamilton.
people don't know
Trenton.
about, unless like you're from the area we're from, Browns Mills, New Jersey,
Far
is
as
like,
fuck.
it's far from everything. Like it's not just like, okay, I guess like you're like an hour away from Philly, maybe an hour and so from New York City, but like Brownsville specifically, to get to the nearest grocery store, you have to drive like 40 minutes. It is so annoying. You have to plan your whole entire day. So basically what she's
No,
saying
like
is that she has to go all the way to Hamilton, which is by Trenton, New Jersey. So that's like 45 50 minutes depending on traffic just to get to that train. And then the train is like another hour, right? So because are you going straight into the
yes.
city?
Yes.
Word. Okay.
So from 4, you have to get up and at least leave the house by 4 or 5 or 6 o'clock. It's a 40-minute ride to the train station in Hamilton. The train itself is like an hour and maybe 15 minutes, depending if it's the express train or not. So my day started at 4, left by 5, train by 6. New York by 7:30. Subway. Then I get to class at 8 a.m. Then I start my day again.
You just did a whole
So
shift before class. It was just like
yes, and classes until 4 p.m.
mm-hmm.
And then I take the train back home. By the time I get back home, it's almost 8 o'clock. And I did that Monday through Friday.
That's crazy.
And then, yeah, I don't know who the fuck I thought I was. Excuse my language. I don't know who I thought I was, but whew, that was a journey.
Yeah, I bet.
But I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and I was really motivated.
And it's like, do you ever find it? So I find it interesting because, like, so I don't know if you know, but I live in Michigan now. So I'm all the way out in the Midwest. So I get a lot of people telling me stuff like, you know, assuming that, oh, I'm from Jersey, that, you know, I'm from like the city and I be knowing this. I'd be like, man, I go to New York City, I get lost. I don't even know. Like, we don't live in no city. We live in the sticks. No. So when you got to the city, like at first, like, did you feel like kind of out of place? Like, cause you're a girl that like, you know what you want, you're ambitious, you want to go for that career, but it's like also things like that is where it kind of stops people from pursuing it because they have to go to these big market cities to live out their dreams. So when you went out there or stepped foot, like your first day or so, were you like, dang, what do I do? Or was it more just like, nah, let me get, you know, excitement?
It was both. Like my first day, I think I still made it on time, but what I did was, because I was nervous, yes, but my dad and his side of the family's from there. So it wasn't too nerve-wracking because I've done it before plenty of times. But I don't have any sense of direction. So I was on the phone with my dad, and what we did before I actually started, we kind of tested it out because I had orientation. So I was on the phone with him the whole time, like, all right, I just got out the subway. Where do I go now? And he's like, all right, get on the subway and 3 stops and it'll say Fulton Street. And then that's when you get off. And I'm like, okay. So he just walked me through the whole thing on the phone. And he was like, and if you get in trouble, just call your uncle, because my uncle lives out there still. So he's like, he'll just come get you or whatever. So it was stressful the first couple of times because I was so tired. Like, I was just really sleepy. But once I got in the groove of it, it was just like clockwork because I had to do it for like 9 months. So it was eventually like clockwork. But it is nerve-wracking.
That's the thing about the big. That's the thing about the big city is that like New York City is that, okay, you may have a day to like kind of stumble across, but you have to hit these cities like running. Like you have to.
And you can't look crazy either because somebody will try to get you.
They'll know. They're like, oh, you're not from here. They're like, you're not from here.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I had the straightest face on the train. Like I was just like straight face, like, yep, know what I'm doing. Whole time in my head, like, please don't miss a stop. Please don't miss a stop. Please don't miss a stop.
Right.
I'm so stressed. But
so How would you describe the type of makeup that you do on people? So are you more of like, so I'm also learning in this process as well, and so are you how do I explain? Is it more for like events? Are you like what kind of style
Yes.
is yours?
Yes. I'm a beauty makeup artist overall. So there's beauty makeup artists, there's bridal makeup artist. Beauty is more of the overall. So that's bridal, special events, red carpet, whatever. But then I also do special effects as well. So I can do film and television makeup and the special effects. So I'm kind of like a universal makeup artist. I like to say I'm just a straight up pro with it. But yeah, mainly beauty. But there is so many types of makeup artists out there. It's amazing. My style though is more Hollywood red carpet makeup. I don't like to do Instagram-ish looking makeup that's just really like full on glam. Like unless, a client wants it, of course, but I like to just enhance the natural beauty of my clients and just make them look effortlessly just gorgeous and airbrushed and diffused. Like that's my type of look that I like to go for. Like as you see now, I look like supernatural. So yeah, I
Okay.
like to just kind of go real soft.
And what's your creative process like?
Ugh, that's such a tough question for me because I feel like the way I answer it sometimes is just like, what, girl, what are you talking about? But it just comes to me. Like I see a face and I'm just like, ooh, I know exactly what I want to do. Like I like to elevate things in a way that people don't think. Like I like to think completely different than
So do
everybody.
you study the person though? Like, so when you see the person, I know that it bounces off to you. Like, I know what I want to do with their characteristics and facial structures, but do you also like, I don't know, study it as well? Like later on in your own
Yeah.
time, it's like you draw like, I don't know, like a stencil or something. You just kind of create something a little bit and you'd be like, okay, now I know where to go from here. Like a blueprint.
So I like to study how other makeup artists do things. So I study different types of makeup artists, if this makes sense. And I'll try to break this down a little bit. So one artist may only do special effects, then there's artists that do brides, there's Instagram artists, then there's TikTok makeup artists, and then there's influencers, and then there's master senior artists who've been doing makeup for like Fashion Week and stuff like that for over 20 years. So in my creative process, I guess I like to put all of those things into one, and that's how I create things. So I take things that I learn as far as like the grayscale from special effects, and then I take the softness that bridal artists do, and then I take the long wear and the continuity of like film and fashion makeup artists, and I just kind of put it all together and just like, ooh, well, this is how I'm going to do your makeup. And I do study people's face and their brows and their eyeballs and their lips. Like I like to correct things. So there's a lot of studying. I went to I went to 3 schools. So it's it takes a lot of education and just really trial and error, into learning how to do anything. Because, people, you can do makeup by yourself all day. You can do one type of person every day, but to know how to elevate every single person's skin tone, if they have rosacea, they have acne, they have vitiligo, or did I say that right? Vitiligo. Like, you have to know how to do all of these people. Like, it's, everyone doesn't have perfect skin. So you have to learn how to finesse. And yeah, it'll take some time. So if anyone wants to learn, my advice to them is to definitely go to school and learn the anatomy of the skin and the body and that's how you can really work it, for sure.
So I mean, this kind of goes off script, and so you mentioned school. I know that you said you went to a beauty school, and I've ran to a lot of people who, especially barbers, that'll go into beauty school and they're like not learning anything that has to do with like men's hairstyle, right? And so in your case, you were like do you find it that beneficial to go to a specific school, or should you shoot your shot for a school that's directly like deals with makeup, like the type of makeup artists collaboration, if you will? Like, would you rather do that, or?
Yeah, I definitely think that you should go to a school that is specifically going to concentrate on things that you actually want to learn.
Right.
Like I really didn't want to go to cosmetology school because cosmetology really focuses more on the hair. They do teach you, they have what's the word? They have lessons for every single thing in beauty. So they teach you the nails and skin and barbering and cutting, but it's not to the extent of, if you genuinely graduated from this school, you're going to know what to do. You're going to be licensed to do it, but you're not really going to know how to service these clients. You know, if you go to Cosmo school and try to be an esthetician, it's not really going to work. You still have to take extra courses and still get licensed for other things. So like, if you want to be a makeup artist, I think you should go to makeup school, or you can go to an esthetician type of school. But that even depends on your educator. If your educator doesn't know makeup and they only know skin, then it's just like, you're just asked out. So I recommend school for sure, but just what is definitely going to cater to your needs and what you want to do. And you have to do a lot of research, because you have to make sure that school is even worth your money, because it's expensive, you know? So I definitely think that you should learn from educators, because they'll teach you best, and they'll teach you the sanitation, because
I mean, that's pretty
you can
important.
be the best artist in the world, but if you are dirty, honey, you will not.
I mean, that's pretty important. I don't know.
Not survive in this world. I'm telling you, there's so many people who don't go to school because they think that they know what they're doing, and they think that they got it down because they went to YouTube University. And it's like, girl, YouTube University is not teaching you how to sanitize your brushes and prepare for your next client and clean your products. It's just like, it stresses me out. It stresses me out. But, you know, that's why I'm here.
Right.
Because I can teach them.
Yeah. It's been a little game. Yeah. What would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your career? So if Chrishana was not a makeup artist and wasn't into this lifestyle, what is something that you could have saw yourself doing or pursuing?
I'd probably be a performer, like a dancer and a singer or something like that.
Like
a rapper.
A word?
I used to rap, remember?
Oh, yeah. But you got a name? But you got a name, or what's up?
I was Chrishana Fancy.
Oh, just go with Chrishana Fancy? That's what we rolling with?
Mm-hmm.
All right, bet.
Oh, yeah.
So you would...
It's a brand for life.
See, but that's the crazy part, right? Is that there's a lot of people who like to be up front, like an artist, a singer, songwriter, or should I say more a performer, but there's a lot of money to be made on the back end. Like singers, rappers, like they look like they got these monies, but the ones cashing in the checks are the songwriters, are the engineers.
Oh, yes, the producers.
Are the people doing like the shoots. So your makeup artist, your photographer, like those are the people who are actually making the bread. And so a lot of people...
They make the most, yes.
So a lot of people like want the glitz and glamour of being an artist, but like, hey, there's a ton more money to be made on the back end. You just got to... You gotta look at it, because for example, you were saying that you're more into like the beauty style makeup, but you were like, but there's a ton. You know what I mean? There's a ton of different stuff, and there's a ton of different genres. There's a ton of different even things that you could do in any creative field. So guys, you don't have to be the front runner. And if anything, you can make the same or more money than these performers and live your normal life. You can go to a grocery
They're
store.
the last to get money, I feel like. The
Right.
way I see it, I think they're the last to get the checks because after they pay everybody off, I mean,
Then they pay
hey,
the artist because everybody's banking off the
yeah.
image of the artist. So as you can
Hmm.
elevate the artist, and then later on the artist will get something. But hey, if you work in the back end like a songwriter or makeup artist or engineer or somebody in the back end that's not in front, I'm telling you, you'll make money. You can, like I said, go to a
Facts.
grocery store, have a normal family, kids. You can walk around the neighborhood. You don't got paparazzi dealing with you. So double think if you guys want to be in the be in the spotlight, because it does come with a lot of negativity. But I guess that kind of almost leads
Yeah.
to my next question is I know that you have started a website now and you have a brand of cosmetics. For the person who is striving to get to that level that where you're at now, how were you able to monetize your work in the process to be able to then build your brand?
Ooh, I think just really working for all of these years doing makeup. Um, I've always been a seller. Like I have to sell myself to kind of show people that I do makeup. I have to tell people why they should book me instead of the next artist. I have to, um, I worked at a department store and a flagship cosmetic store for years. Like literally, this pandemic is what caused me to stop finally working in a department store. And I pretty much took those lessons that I learned in the department store of how they maneuver their business and how they place employees in that beauty department. And I've watched women really finesse in their sales and stuff because that's a dog eat dog world. And for me, I kind of took all of those things and I always posted my work. I always um, presented myself in a way that, obviously Chrishana Fancy is obviously not glitz and glamour in a sense, but it's just who I am, like as far as beauty and stuff. Like I'm so into it, it doesn't even make sense. And people see that and they see how passionate I am about it and they see how knowledgeable I am about it, which is why education is so important to me if you want to get in this field. And um, I learned from so many people and I'm able to kind of present myself in that way that I'm intelligent about what I do. I'm confident in what I do, and I think that was kind of what made other people comfortable in trusting me in their face and now wanting to shop with me and stuff because they're like, yo, I know she's been doing this for years. She's consistently recommended great products for me along the years of me working with different products from other brands. And she's personally worked with different brands. So I'm not going to give crappy product. So I think it was just a trust thing that I've, given people over the years and, just continuing to work hard. And
So, would you say that a key thing is as well, like in the beginning, to take every opportunity that you can get, right? Because,
mm-hmm,
I was I actually did an interview with Preston, and Preston gave a nugget about when it comes to how he treats each client is that when he cuts their hair, you don't know the next person that person's going to see. So for example,
mm-hmm,
because he cut somebody's hair really well, he got this gig with the New York Knicks and he's cutting some players
mm-hmm.
from the Knicks. And it's like use your clients and these opportunities as like a walking billboard for yourself, because
Yes.
if you're putting out whack makeup on somebody, they're going to be like, oh, Krishana did it, and then you're gonna be
Your
like,
name is on that.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you want to put in the effort. So no matter how small the project is, like you don't know who that person
Yeah.
knows, or somebody might is gonna see it and they're gonna want to hit you up.
Oh, yeah. You have to treat every single thing, even if you're not doing your actual service that you provide, even just going outside. Like, I have on my cosmetic line right now. Like, I'm never walking out the house without anything that I sell or that I do. Like, I don't care if I'm going down the street to run errands for the day. I'm going to put on some type of, like, even if it's just a light thing of makeup or something. You know, someone comes up to me, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. You did your makeup? Yeah, I do it myself. I'm a makeup artist. Yes, contact me. You know, I can help you. And it's just like that. I This is a great story that I'm probably going to end up telling the rest of my life. I had to go to the DMV because of something. I think I had to renew my license, something so small. And the receptionist there at the front desk, she was like, oh my gosh, you look so beautiful. I love your makeup. I'm like, oh, thank you. And I'm with my mom. She's like, you know, parents, they're going to tell anybody when they get a chance of what their child do. So
Yeah,
she
they're gonna
was
gas it
like,
up.
yeah, they're going to gas it. She was like, yeah, my daughter, she's a makeup artist. You know, she's a makeup artist. She's hot. She knows what she's doing. She's like, oh my gosh, my daughter is looking for a makeup artist for her wedding. And literally a week later, her daughter emailed me and said, hey, my mom, she's like, or actually, she didn't even tell me that her mom worked at the DMV at first. She just said, like, hey, I want to book you for my wedding. And I'm like, oh, yeah, great, whatever, whatever. I'm getting all the details from her. And she was like, oh, I guess I should tell you how I found you, by the way. And she was like, yeah, she's like, my mom, you met her at the DMV. And I was like, oh, I was like, oh
That's
my gosh. I'm like,
crazy.
she really told her, she really remembered me. That was like a week later.
Especially
And
the
that's
fact
just
that
because I looked
DMV is the
good.
worst. Like,
The
especially
worst.
so
The
that's how you
worst.
know God was looking out for you, because
Seriously.
dang, that's crazy.
Seriously.
So
It's, you know, it's
you booked, so
stuff
you did
like
the whole
that.
party, so it was for her wedding, right?
Yes, it's for her wedding. And
Dang.
you know, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, she had to reschedule.
Hmm.
But
But
so this
regardless,
year will be, yeah, so this year we'll be trying again. Hopefully she
dope.
doesn't have to reschedule it again with the restrictions lightening up and stuff. But yeah, so I'll be doing her wedding. We're booked and ready to go, you know? And I think that's what people fail to realize, because you know, people walk out this house looking like anything. They'll never, you know, speak to what they do, because you know, a lot of people speak fear into others' ideas. So some people just aren't confident, and you know, they doubt themselves. But I've seen, you know, not to negatively speak on them, but I've seen makeup artists who are just starting out and that aren't that great at what they do. They have potential, but they aren't that great. But you know, since they promote and they're confident and they're happy and they're passionate about what they do, people support them because they see that they're trying and they're, you know, doing something. So I tell people, like, hey, don't be afraid. Like, if you want to do something, do it, because there's people out here, and I'm sure there's so many people out here with podcasts that, you know, let's be real, they kind of suck. You know, their conversations and their topics aren't that great, but people will listen to it and tune in because they're consistent. They keep it going, you know, and they know that they're going to get better and better and better with, you know, the more support that they have. So, you know, I think, you know, even me, I went to the DMV and thank God I had makeup on that day.
Right. And so
Because I booked someone.
so then two things is, I guess people can learn from this is, consistency is key, right? You got to be consistent.
Consistency is key,
You
and
got to,
confidence.
and confidence, right? And then also, if you have a brand or a merchandise or something that you are selling or you want people to buy, or if you're not necessarily selling something but you want people to invest their time into it, you got to promote it. So
You have to do it yourself first.
so Chrishana is gonna step out the house with Krishana's makeup, so that when you see her, you're like, I want that. I'm gonna walk out the house with my business cards and a T-shirt of mine,
A t-shirt, your merch.
a
Yes.
T-shirt of mine, just so you can see what this looks like, so that it can be
Yep.
in your mind, you know, what it looks like. And then to be consistent, because people are only going to invest their time and then eventually invest their money into you if you're bringing a consistent product. If you're doing if you're doing a podcast, what makes your podcast different? If you are doing a song, what makes your song different? You know, and you got to be consistent with it, because then once you grab an audience, into your world, you know, you got to make sure you keep them. It's a client.
Yes.
It's a client, right?
And a lot of people, yes, every person that ever comes your way, one follow, that's a new client right there. Even though they're not purchasing anything, that's your new word of mouth. Anybody that you see that's doing anything, that's your word of mouth. Even if I don't take a picture of my client whose makeup I did that day, she's going to go to an event that has 100, 200 people. If 50 people tell her that she looks good, who did your makeup? Oh my gosh, she looks so good. Oh yeah, I'll give you her Instagram. I'll give you her number or whatever. Just like that. And then that person, now she books with you. She's going to another event. It's just more and more people. My best friend, she's a makeup artist, and she had a bridal party of 14 people. That's huge for a bridal party.
Right. Usually it's like
for one side, by the way. So every single bridesmaid, she put my lipstick on them. And she's another makeup artist. You know, we're, I guess, quote unquote, in a competition with each other or whatever. But, you know, you can't really look at it like that, because now you sell product.
Yeah, your product is on somebody else, used by another makeup artist.
Yes. So she took it upon herself to support me as I supported her. So my work is on her clients. And now I'm promoting her work because I'm showing her stuff off on my platform because she's wearing my, you know, so it's just connections and networking and that word of mouth. So now 14 girls have on my lipstick for a wedding. It's going to last them all night. They're like, oh my gosh, I love this nude. This looks great. Oh yeah, this girl that she's wearing it. She calls me and she's like, girl, all the bridesmaids are asking what I put on them, and they said they're all going to order from you and this and that. And I'm like, this is great. And these are people from out of town. So these people are in New Jersey. They aren't in South Jersey, North Jersey. These are in a whole different state. So it's just, you just gotta keep going and put it out there.
And sometimes your clients aren't even, or your followers aren't going to be where you're from.
Oh, never.
Let's keep it a buck, right? It's not going to be.
You're never going to get support from your hometown.
No.
Until after you make it.
But that shouldn't discourage you either, because once you find that one person, all it takes is one. You know what I mean? All it takes is one person.
That's it. You just need one person.
Whether it's a different state or a different country, like one person. I think the overall, you know, purpose as creatives is to also impact people, right? Because how does Chrishana impact somebody with makeup? Well, you're boosting their self-esteem. It's the biggest day of their lives. They're gonna love their pictures, and so that's a way that we can impact people. How do I impact people through music? Well, who doesn't love music? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
So how can you find a way to use your creativity to impact people? Chrishana, last question before we let you go. What is next for you? What's next for the brand? I know the pandemic isn't really over, but I mean, we outside. So what's next?
What's next for me? I'm going to expand in opening up a studio for clients to come to me, and I'm going to be offering new services for like facials and skincare. New products are coming.
Let's go.
Chrishana Fancy Cosmetics. Hopefully this month, if my timing goes right. And I mean, master classes and so many things. You know, YouTube, more media, more everything. Like, my name's gonna be everywhere. I keep telling people this, you know, because that's really all I can say. My name's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah, speaking into existence.
Because that's just what I'm speaking to. That's what I believe, and that's always been my thing. You already know, like in high school, my name was everywhere, and for good reasons too. No drama. I was doing those fashion shows, and you know, loud and funny. Like, my name was everywhere, and for good reasons. You know, people just love me because I'm genuine and I stay focused and I mind my business. And, you know, that in itself is just very impactful, that I'm just, everywhere I go, it's always a good time if I'm there. You know what I'm saying? So everybody just loves that. And I'm going to be around for a long time.
That's what's up.
A long time.
That's what's up. I believe it. I believe it. That's
it's
the reason,
up and it's stuck.
That's the reason why we had you on, man. Like I said, we haven't, man. It's been years since we spoke, but man, I always see people that we went to school with and see where their paths have taken them, and whether it's a different path than mine, but as long as they're happy and successful, I feel really great. So it's really cool.
I'm very proud of us. We are doing really, really good.
So it's really cool to see, like, all you guys. I see you. I see Abriana out here doing videos. I gotta connect.
Killing it.
I gotta connect with her too.
Yeah, she's killing it so bad. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of her.
It's super dope to see everybody that we grew up with, like, becoming something.
Nadia. She's killing it. Asher's obviously, it's funny, I've seen Asher a couple of times. Me and him have been hired, to do the same things. I did makeup, I think, twice while he was filming and stuff. So that was cool. I was like, yo, what's up?
Yeah, we all out here. So Chrishana, where can people follow you at? Drop your website. Where can people book you at?
Okay, so my makeup page for Instagram, where people can book me, is Fancy Did Makeup. And my website is ChrishanaFancyCosmetics.com. And obviously everywhere else is just simply Chrishana Fancy. But those two are the most important. So go get those. And Chrishana Fancy Cosmetics is on Instagram as well, and Facebook.
Dope. Well, thank you, Chrishana, man. I really appreciate you being here with us. I appreciate you guys listening to the pod. Hopefully you guys have learned some nuggets and little tricks from Chrishana. That's the whole point of this, is to help each other grow and help those get over, those creative humps, or even those business humps. So I appreciate you guys, and talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Bye.